everybody, and welcome to the Wealthy La Show. How does it get any funner than that? Thanks for listening. I am Laurie Larson, your Wealthy LaLa, coming to you from snowy Radway, Alberta. Well, technically on a farm, so I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. I should say snowy county of Thorhild, Wealthy LaLa. There you go. So anyways, today is part 2, or at least a continuation of yesterday's show, where I was sharing about how my speaking engagements went and just some of the cool awarenesses and stuff that came from it. I was so incredibly grateful. So I was talking about how I'd gotten a flat tire, pulled myself off the main road, drove myself off into a small parking lot and was able to leave my vehicle there. Ran into a Booster Juice, had a lovely guy there kind of just support me through setting myself up on Uber. Had an Uber driver come get me. And then I got to the school at 10 to 9 and my speaking engagement was at 9. And what's so great, and this might seem really simple to some people, but from a person who used to function so much in doubt and low self-confidence, I would have been so worked up about that. I would have been so caring what everybody else thought instead of going, okay, this is what's going on. What do I need to do? I go up to the thing, I get my packet, I tell them I'm here for my speaking engagement. I show up, I get up to the room that I'm in. Most of the people were already there for the workshop. I think I had a good, close to 30 in the workshop. And, here I am setting up everything and it's 9 o'clock already. And I'm just like, you know what? This is life. And life doesn't have to be a struggle. So I'm not going to choose that. And so I just let everybody in the room know. I just say, hey, you guys, had a flat tire. I just got here. So I'll be starting in a few minutes. And so I relaxed, got myself set up and then began the workshop. And like I was saying yesterday, my husband, when I had phoned him about it, he had said to me, make sure that you get a hold of someone as soon as you can so that they have, the day to be able to assist you in getting likely the spare tire, the extra tire, which is a regular tire, not like one of those little wonky ones, right? Great, which I'm so grateful for. So it was just a matter of getting that tire off and then replacing the other one. And then I was good. Then I could drive home. I could get anywhere to get this tire fixed, or get all new tires, which is actually what we're going to be doing. And so anyways, my husband had said, make sure you call somebody right away. So you know what I mean? We hear that and we're like, okay, I got to get somebody right away, right? And something told me to just do the speaking, the first workshop, and just give it some space. So what I really want to just share with this, and I'll allude to this even more in future podcasts, is just that when you get yourself stressed and tight and contracted, the universe can't reach you. Possibilities can't reach you. Awarenesses can't reach you to assist you in getting where you'd like to go. So where would I want to go? I'd want to get my tire fixed, or at least get it replaced so that I can, get the spare on so that I can then drive again, right? Have my vehicle up and running. Well, if I would have done this whole freak out thing, I know that I would not have received the awareness I got. So I'm doing my first speaking engagement. It's on meditation. And we took a break about an hour in. And I thought, well, I'm going to go to the washroom too. So on my way to the washroom, I was like, oh my gosh, my second son. Well, I only have 2, but I have 3 kids. That's why I say second. So my second child, my second son, because I have a son, and a daughter. So my second son, Craig, I knew was off this week, but it popped into my head, call Craig. And I was like, wow, that's actually really light. okay. So anyways, and remember when I talked before, when things are light, that actually means that it creates greater. Okay. That's what makes me choose these things now. Because the old me would have went, oh, I can't bother Craig. He's over an hour away. He's going to come here. It's minus 30 out. I don't want to inconvenience him. And yet the universe is going, honey, call him. Just call him. Well, my second son, Craig, he's very active. He's been basically, for the most part, housebound because he had no work that week. So he was housebound, but with his lovely wife and his two little cutie patootie boys. So he would have been, it just, I could see as it went on that this was going to create greater even in his world. And now what was really cool is I phoned him. He was like, sure, I'll come. And then what I'm so aware of now too is that you can, I get so easy. It's like, what do I need? What do I need so that I can ask for it? That's so exciting. So in my head, I said, I'm going back to finish my workshop. And I said, all I need is for my vehicle to be back here at the school with the tire on before 1 o'clock so that I can do my afternoon workshop. I said, otherwise, so you don't have to rush here. And he's like, okay, sounds good. So next thing you know, I get a phone call from him just after my workshop's done. And he said, Mom, I'll probably be there in about 45 minutes. It's like, perfect. We were done around quarter after 11. He would come for around noon, which is pretty much about how it worked. And then I went with him. And so I jump in the car, and guess what? My oldest grandson, who's 2.5, was in the car. Yay! So I got to love up Parker. It was so awesome. And got to have a nice visit. Craig got to rescue his mama. He fixed my broken tire, which is what we told Parker he was doing. It was so cute because Parker loves tires and vehicles and stuff like that. And when we were standing outside, it was really freaking cold. So Parker and I stayed mostly in the car while my son did the hard work. And, but we went out once or twice just to go see how Dad was doing. And next thing you know, Parker goes to wander around the other side of the vehicle. And I'm like, no, Parker, just stay here because it's a parking lot and there's other cars and you don't know if they're moving or not, right? And it dawned on me afterwards what he was doing. He was going to check the other tires. Oh, God, that's so cute. Oh, my gosh, here's this little 2.5-year-old, walking around the vehicle checking the tires. So, just heart melting. So anyways, after it was all said and done, it was about 12:30. And so my son was like, hey, well, and in the meantime, my son had actually said, why don't you go take Parker over to that restaurant right there? You guys go order some French fries or something like that, have some lunch. And then I was just going to order something for Craig so that he would have it when he was done. And, unfortunately, it was a restaurant that no minors were allowed, and the only other ones that were around there was Booster Juice and Subway, and those just weren't something that I felt like having at that moment. So I went back to the car with Parker, and him and I waited for Craig to be done. And when he was done, I said, you know what, I've got to go back to the school. I wish I could go for lunch with you guys, but I had already had enough sort of I don't want to call it stress, but enough things to think about over and over and this and that and whatever. And just even the speaking engagement itself was something that was not unfamiliar and it wasn't new to me. But it was new from the space of be that I be at now. And so I really wanted to be present with my afternoon workshop. And as much as I love my son and my grandson, I knew that I wasn't going to have enough time to enjoy a nice lunch with them. So I gifted them some money for, and said, here, go have some fun. So they actually went to McDonald's and my grandson got to have his first Happy Meal, which he apparently really liked. So how's it get any better? But anyways, I got back to the school, did my afternoon workshop, which was on the tapping. But what was so great was not only did the workshop go really wonderfully, which in my point of view it did, and really it was like it was for me anyways, um, is that because really our lives are really for ourselves, but knowing that ourselves and our lives actually contribute to others. Like, do you guys get that? It's not like it's like being selfish, but not selfish in the way that we've judged selfish to be. Like being selfish in the fact of honoring and knowing that me, when I take care of me and share me in whatever way that shows up, that's a contribution to other people and to the world. And I like that. So I got back, did the meditation or the EFT workshop, and I even got to share and use the example of the getting a flat tire. You know, it was so cool. I was so grateful. And then what was really neat was the next day, I actually was feeling uncertain. I woke up in the middle of the night after the first day and had a really bad headache. Gave me some awareness about things about my body. I was so kind of like stressed throughout, whatever, like out of my comfort zone throughout the day that I forgot to drink. And so I think that was a bit of the headache. Not only that, my body was letting me know where I was sort of resisting the fun and the ease and the joy that this was all creating. That I was still sort of trying to worry or hold on to like what I thought other people were thinking. And really where I'm coming from that is not so much that I was really worrying about what they were thinking, but what I was really aware of was that um, it was kind of a gift in a way too when I got to not acknowledge this afterwards. But these people weren't people that signed up for this class. It's like, I want a meditation class. They go looking for a meditation class. They're like, oh, let's take this meditation class with Laurie and pay me $35 and come to it. You know, you're speaking to people that are actually interested or coming to find out about what you're talking about. Whereas I know that with some of these people that came to the workshops, like some it was their second choice because their first choice was full. Some of the people were just kind of curious to see a different perspective. Some people were there because they had to sign up for something. And so it was really an invitation for me to just be me and not be concerned about what anyone else's expectations would be with it. Like, what would Laurie be like talking about meditation? What would Laurie be like? Who would she be? How would she like to show up talking about EFT? And what was interesting about those two is there was some structure to it. Talk a little bit about where do you sit? How do you sit? How do you breathe? What kind of meditations is there? And then the EFT, this is how you tap. Here's some pictures, blah, blah, blah. Give some examples. But heading into the Trusting You workshop, that was just me. That was all free form. And that was something that even expanded out of my comfort zone even more. So my body was actually uncomfortable. Well, I was. And it was like my body was trying to keep me safe. Like you're going into discomfort, Laurie. You're going out of your comfort zone. Hold on, stay back, stay back. And our bodies will actually do that. When you go to start eating it with a different plan, or you go to exercise more and move your body or something like that. And then you kind of like, oh, I don't really feel like it, or maybe I shouldn't, or, oh, I'll just have that piece of cake today, or whatever. Often that's actually our body's way of protecting us from change. Okay. And these workshops created a lot of change in my world, a lot of change in my world. Which I'm so incredibly grateful for. And it was really, really neat because this whole Trusting You workshop expanded into a whole new level of trusting myself, seeing what information that I had within me, what information wanted to be channeled through me that I didn't even know was going to show up. And it was really cool because I actually reconnected with a person who was a really good friend of mine from high school. So that was like 35 plus years ago. And it was like a little warm comfort blanket having her in the room. I was so grateful for that. And I was grateful that the universe had my back with it. And you know what, you guys? We're actually at the end of today's show again. Like that just flew by for me. So I'm actually going to talk even more about this on tomorrow's show. So, oh, yeah. And kind of, sort of maybe wrap it up if there's a way to wrap it up. And so thanks for listening today. And we will talk again more tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Thanks for listening again. I'm really, truly grateful for you.